Well, thanks so much for coming on. Do you want to introduce yourselves and your role in cider?
Yeah, my name is Kelly Rourke. I am the cider maker at Bend Cider Company.
I'm Tammy, and I do mainly the sales and marketing and pick up all the other pieces.
Nice. So we'll jump in. Like, what's the story behind the cidery? Where are you located? How long have you been in business? Like, why cider? How did you get into cider?
Um, yeah, so cider for me started around 2008 during the depression time, or the recession time, not depression time.
It felt
It was
pretty.
probably depressing.
It was depressing for a lot of people, I think. But yeah,
The great
that
depressing
recession.
recession. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Anyways, I have been doing my career actually was in wildlife biology.
Oh, nice.
So I was traveling around doing all that kind of stuff, and landed in Bend, looking for a job, and um, tried to get a job in Sisters, and just missed out on the career job there, but really liked being here. So I decided to stay, and part of like the reason I wanted to stay was just because of the culture that was here, the friends, and just kind of the the homebrew culture, just kind of the craft, make it yourself culture. Um, and that just fit me really well. So I definitely experienced a lot of like friends doing um, home brewing in the backyard, or just kind of being part of that, in a passive way. Um, and wanted to kind of try and do that, but realizing that the equipment costs, were pretty large, $1,000 or more for just the homebrew stuff, and I'm like, basically almost homeless, like just like yeah, no job, trying to find a job, trying to find places to rent, etc. So I still wanted to like, be involved and have fun doing this, but cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And I was here in the fall, and there's apples on all the trees around town, and people wanted to get rid of them because they were just falling and rotting, and they were happy to have
Mm-hmm.
them shaken out of the tree by some, wild monkey guy. And
They didn't have to clean them up, and they were happy.
yeah, right.
They're like, take them, please.
So yeah, I was able to, gather a lot, and was able to purchase, carboy for $20 or whatever that costs, and I was in business, and borrowing a press, obviously, um, and that worked out okay. I was able to make some decently flavored ciders, and then yeah, just kind of continued on until I met Tammy, and then she kind of inspired the move toward creating a business out of the idea of having cider, and yeah,
Yeah. So how long ago was that then? That the like going from like carboy to now you're like a cidery.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so 2013 or so is about when we met, and we
Mm-hmm.
Built the production facility.
that kind of like idea was like blossoming, and yeah, so construction was happening. I think completed in 2015, and that's when we started company, and I was cider maker for 5 years there, and then I rebranded into Bend Cider Company.
Okay. What makes your ciders like special and unique? Like, what's different about Bend cider from other cideries?
We're botanically focused, and we did that to kind of um, take the high desert and everything it has to offer and put it into a glass where you get all the textures that the high desert has. Um, give you something a little more interesting to drink than just a fruit cider.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kelly's really great at pairing flavors, which I think is an amazing ability. I don't have that Rolodex in my mind of flavors and what goes with what. And also the nakedness of the cider, where we don't add a ton of, just juice or sugar or whatever. We never add sugar to our cider. and we just lightly infuse the flavors so that the apple is there, more present than anything. I think that's something special because we can't cover up bad fermentation, or we can't cover up anything. It's all right there for you. The seasonality of the apples, which can also be a challenging thing as you go through the year, and go through juice that's been in cold storage or whatever. I think that's really unique about our cider. What do you think?
Yeah. It's just like, really the focus is on doing it as naturally as possible. And that's kind of really the bread and butter for us. Is like we're not adding sugar. We're not falsely adding sugar through beet sugars. We're not fermenting it, to 20% alcohol, seltzer, cider, and then diluting and then back sweetening and calling that cider.
Yeah.
We have juice, we ferment it, and then it stops fermenting, and then that is cider.
Yeah. And then you might add some thyme and some cucumber
and like flavor, or you might condition it a certain way with barrels or whatever, but everything, I mean, otherwise you're just driving a seltzer or a soda, it's not, to me, it's not cider.
Yeah. And I know in the United States we don't have a lot of like regulations about what can be called cider and what can't, as far as like, can I take concentrated juice and dilute it and all of that. And I know in other countries they do. So it's nice to hear that it's like, this is juice, we fermented it, and you're pitching yeast. I'm assuming it's not like natural fermentation.
Yeah.
It's just, you're pitched yeast.
Yeah. Although I like to, I guess I would like to say that, like, you get like a pasteurized juice, but there's always wild
yeast a little bit in
available,
there.
right?
Yeah.
And so I like to try and almost bring it to the point where that wild ferment takes hold a little bit, and then also have the yeast come in on top of that
to control it. Yeah.
Just it's a little bit more of another natural kind of blend, like, it's like, I guess, as naturally as possible.
Yeah.
With pitching yeast.
Yeah, where you're like, this batch might taste a little different than the other batch that we did with the same flavor, but the time and the apples or the juice that we had and the conditions and
then like what she was saying about the seasonality of apples is the reality for the volume that you're seeing in the industry. It's coming from cold storage, like apples that have been picked and put in cold storage, or frozen and put in cold storage, etc. So the reality is that those table varietals that you get from, or on the grocery store shelves, they were from like last year potentially, right?
Yeah, they're not from this year's harvest usually.
If early they might be riper, but later they're going to be much juicier. You're going to get a darker juice, it's more oxidized. You're going to get less acidity. So all these things kind of like start creeping in throughout the year, and you'll get slightly different flavored juice.
And kind of like what I was saying with the nakedness of the cider, when he's talking about that, it doesn't look or necessarily taste exactly the same all year long. We don't add malic acid to it either, and so it's interesting to me to taste that throughout the year. And I think people don't realize a lot of times that it's fruit.
Yeah.
It does
change. Yeah.
And so when you're not covering it up with other juice, like, a lot of juice and different things, you can really taste that. That's interesting to me.
Yeah. You're letting, I mean, we've been talking about your ciders a little bit, and you let the apples do what they're going to do. And then from there you decide what you're going to.
Yeah. Right to the edge.
Yeah. You're like, what are you going to do? And then I'm going to decide how.
I'm not going to take over yet.
I think that's also interesting we have 2 orchards.
Okay.
And we don't use those apples for the commercial cider because we're not a commercially, producing orchard, but to even just see what the trees do and how each tree produces a different amount of apples each year, depending on what it feels like or how it's been treated.
And the varieties too. Some of them fruit every year, some are every other year, and they have a bumper crop, every 5 years or something. So you never know what apples are.
Exactly. So staying like connected to the land and seeing, like, even just with our hundreds of trees, what we're going through. Imagine what the growers are going
Yeah,
through, on like
they're
the commercial
huge
level.
acres. Yeah. How many ciders do you make? So like in cans, like if I wanted to go buy, like what flavors are we gonna find in cans like most often, and then like on draft, what are we seeing as far as cider that's out there? The limit doesn't exist,
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, cans, like we basically do kind of a vetting process, try and get a can flavor out, be more committed to it. So we've done, I don't know, maybe 10 or less, probably less than 10.
Okay.
But each of those gets its own unique artwork, painting, etc. So it's definitely a process to really bring that forward. So fewer of those, and then at any given time we try and limit how many we're doing because we just can't chaos for you.
Yeah, you can't have like 27 ferments going on.
Yeah, the marketing, and you gotta create a little bit of like longing for the market.
Like when's this
one's
coming back?
One, and like there's a perfect example of that, which is just kind of confounding me, is like for Jubal Ale, right? From the shoots, and everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for
That's
like
the Christmassy one they do, right? Where it's like spices, like Christmas spice, like mold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And as much as I nostalgically like it, like I'm not like a huge fan. It's not the greatest beer. To me,
yeah. You don't want to drink it all year round.
Right. So that's the idea. Is like releasing some occasionally.
Yeah.
So we have our like 3 core flavors, a rotating seasonal, and then we'll do like one usually in the winter for like a winter flavor.
Okay.
In a can, which we do have a new can and flavor coming out.
Ooh.
Not telling what the flavor is yet, but it should be out in October.
In October, okay. So people have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
What are your 3 core ones that are always available?
Dry apple, mandarin juniper, and huckleberry ginger.
Okay. Yep. So those are ones that no matter what time of year they're in cans, and then you do seasonal. Okay.
Yep. Rotating seasonals.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we also, sorry, I forgot, for Sierra Nevada Red Fox. We have a 19.2 we just released that's year-round as well.
Okay.
And so that's our peach strawberry. And that's just in the taller,
tall boys
cans in the 19.2.
And that'll be year-round as well?
Yeah, that one's year-round.
And the other ones are 16-ounce cans? Okay. I'm like thinking of size of cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 12, but...
Yeah, the 19.2 is just it's a for the market, because some stores, like C stores, only accept 19.2 cans.
I've noticed that, yeah.
So there's some...
And they sell them as singles, right, in the store.
Yeah. So there's definitely some of us capitulating to the market's demands,
what they want,
and that's kind of where that fits, right?
Yeah, sometimes that's just what you have to do. Any funny stories or flavors that you like tried and just didn't work, or like disasters where like something floated everywhere? I don't know, like a funny story from the cidery.
Yeah. So one that
I like.
The cucumber watermelon time.
Cucumber watermelon time. It was a really fun creative process for me to make that. Just like thinking about like how to kind of pull each of these flavors. Like watermelon itself, I just found was just kind of lacking.
Yeah.
It just like falls really flat, and it's just like you might get a little whiff of watermelon, but there's no structure to like watermelon juice or something. So bringing in some cucumber to help round out the melon flavors, and then adding the thyme, which kind of represents the rind in the cider, and so this kind of bring you all the way from the juiciness all the way down the rind, hopefully in that flavor profile. That was the concept. I'm not sure if everyone experiences that, but that's how I like to think about it as I'm tasting it. Anyways, I had a great time. Really liked that one, and it's not exactly Tammy's favorite.
It's not one you would like drink. You tasted it and you're like, never again.
Yeah. I was like, how could you have made such a large batch of this? Oh my gosh. What are we going to do with it all? And had sent some to a festival and was like, oh my gosh, people tasted this. And then all the feedback started coming in and everyone loved it except me. And people were wanting half barrels of it and more of it and filling their growlers. And I was like, well, of all the ciders, I've never not liked one. But I think I found the one that I'm just sensitive to that
Yeah.
everyone else loves. So
It happens.
yeah.
There's certain, like, I am not a fan. I can appreciate them, but like barrel aged ciders that are barrel aged in like rye or like whiskey barrels,
Yeah.
not my thing. There's been a few that I'm like, this is good, and it's because the apple and the like the characteristics of that comes forward. But when all I can taste is like whiskey, I'm like I could have just ordered whiskey, which I would never do. So why would I drink this? So it must be the same with you and the watermelon cucumber time. You're just like something with that combination of ingredients. It's just not your jam.
My cup of tea.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's the time. But
Yeah.
He agreed to like compromise with me and like just tweak it a little bit. So I haven't tried the new tweaked flavor.
Okay. So this is going to be your next canned release, right? And you're just going
to... Absolutely not.
You're gonna label it, Tammy hates this one. You should try it.
All the haters out there.
Oh my goodness.
You know, then the reality of like the flavors, you also have to like have like find an animal that fits it in a way. I don't know, there's got to be a complete like package process to make it.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Like the can design. Because each of your ciders that are in cans have an animal that goes with it. How do you decide the animal? And then the art on it is a local artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful. So how do you decide which animal goes with each cider?
So Kelly was the wildlife biologist before starting all this, and we both just had like a love for our community, the environment, everyone around us. We wanted to somehow give back, but never had any money to give back. And so we're like, wow, if we start this business, we could maybe do something good, you know, and let's try and figure out how. We had a friend, Sheila Dunn, who is the artist for all of our cans, and we talked to her and was like, what do you think about this idea? We're thinking about doing like a threatened or endangered species on each can. Would you want to do the artwork? And she was like, yes, absolutely, yes. And so from there, you know, I guess Kelly he's worked with sea turtles. So we have a green sea turtle on one of our cans. He's worked with bears in Yosemite. So we have a bear, grizzly bear on one of them. And then just looking at species in the Pacific Northwest that need to be just have the spotlight on them a little more. So people might think twice when they throw their trash on the ground, or might think twice when they're putting up a barbed wire fence, or you know, just to bring more awareness. And then we give a percentage back to environmental education. And then the artist, Sheila Dunn, gives a percentage back to keeping wild places wild. Okay. And so it's our small way of doing something. And, you know, we put that on the can to hopefully inspire other people to do the same with their businesses. Because I think if we all just give a little, we can change the world a lot. Yeah, it equals a lot when a lot of people pitch in, rather than, you don't have to give tens of thousands of dollars, but little pieces at a time. And awareness too. I like it. And I think when it's not all about you, you know, you make it about something bigger. Yeah, it means more. I like that. And you're supporting a local artist that's a friend, and also like your roots of wildlife biology. It's just like all of the things tying together. I like it.
And then, you know, like, as far as like the actual choosing of the animal to the flavor part, you know, that's, you know, animal, chicken or egg come first kind of situation. Yeah. Because like, say the sea turtle, for example. Okay, like I wanted to do a sea turtle, and then that was a concept idea like we used for a can, but then like, well, what flavor might we do for that?
Gotta have the right one.
It's gotta be tropical and themed. And okay, well, hibiscus is definitely something we could do, and then we could have what kind of tropical fruit could we marry with that, and guava seemed to work well. You know, so it just kind of like came together. Those two flavors would work well with sea turtle because that feels tropical as well, right?
And sometimes you're like, was it the can art that came first, or was it the cider, or did they influenced each other a little bit? Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for someone who wants to like work in cider? If they wanted to open a cidery, like what advice would you have for them?
Don't expect to make money anytime soon.
I've gotten a lot of the answer to this is don't.
Yeah.
and then I'll give you some advice. But like, if you want to sleep or like have money, just don't.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work, but it's been so fulfilling because it is our passion. Like, if it's not your passion, I would say don't do it because that's what is going to drive you most of the time. Um,
Yeah.
is what you're going to say.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like, well, maybe like regionally, you think like, okay, well, it's a little saturated in Northwest per se, for maybe larger scaled commercial companies, but I think there's a ton of opportunity in and I really feel like this is kind of more the future of the direction the cider is really going to take decades down the road here is like the wine industry. You have your own vineyard, right? You have your own AVA, and this is where we're growing these apples, and you have your own small, winery, cidery,
Yeah.
that's just doing so many cases a year,
Yeah.
and hopefully that's where it's going to go.
Okay.
Because that really is going to elevate and really meet the cider industry's like what cider should be, and I think there's tons of opportunity for people to do that and to support themselves in a small local, farm situation and have, potentially a six-figure, farm income from that, right? And that'd be great.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't need a whole lot more.
Yeah. And that like community building too that comes along with that. I think of cider tourism. I feel like that is like the next step. Like we have commercial cideries and we have cideries that are like in cities and and that's great to have a tap room, but like getting to go and see where the things are being made and like
imagine
I consumers want that.
The economic impact of say the Hood River Valley, right? It's a smaller, it's got its AVA, and maybe has like some certain like micro AVAs in there. But imagine that all those micro orchards in there were actually like cideries, and it was the Napa Valley of cider. And imagine the amount of economic like potential that has versus pulling a bunch of apples off and selling them for 5 cents each, whatever, whatever the cost is of the grocery store.
But well, I mean that's what you probably are selling them for as a farmer, rather than what they're getting for them in the grocery store. But yeah,
that's
like
what I mean.
The economic advantage to creating like a tourism almost out of your cidery.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean,
that's the way
I
to
really
go.
like hope that that's where it's going to go.
Okay. Which was going to be my next question is like, what's your vision or hope for the future? Or like, where do you see cider going? And I think you kind of answered that in your like advices.
Yeah, and it's also it's so good for ecosystem, right? Because the big scare for the commercial crops and commercial food industry is monoculturing, right?
Yeah.
And susceptibility to pests and whatever it is, right? So when you have lots of small farms, like if we were all just farming for ourselves, we'd have no problems. For food industry, it supplies. But if we continue to allow the largest companies to buy up all the smaller companies, and then
everything's the same too,
right? And then they all that companies can invest in this certain apple orchard industry, right? These certain apples, and then Cosmic Crisp takes over the world,
and that's all you have.
And that's all we have. It's just the invest in Cosmic Crisp.
We need, and I'm sure coming from like the wildlife biology part too, like we need diversity of not just species but of like flora too. Like we need the different kinds of apples because if we all rely on one kind, climate change is real, right? It's changing, and it could wipe them all out. If all you have is one variety, like we need ones that.
And that's the other, like a good point is the climate change, like right. So climate change means that the climate is warming or cooling, or the seasons are changing, right? Which means that new ecosystems are formed.
Yeah.
Right. Like the march of in this area, the march of the junipers is like this huge controversy, right? Everyone hates the junipers because they're stealing all the water from the aquifer. Somehow each juniper has 1 mile deep taproot or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, the reality is the junipers are creating microhabitats for all the animals and plants and everything that actually has potential to survive in these environments. and we're trying to say that this is wrong. Well, this is just what's happening. We're
Yeah.
going to see birds that are normally endemic to Southern California becoming endemic to Central Oregon, right? This is what happens. It's just a shift in ecosystems. And so apples could potentially become more prevalent in our climate.
Yeah.
Right? Because we normally have the limiting factor is the freezing issue, right?
They need a certain amount of like dormancy between like apples falling and budding of temperature, and if they're
40
not
days,
and if they don't have that, or if it's too long, then they won't produce. Yep.
But that's great, right? So it's potential. There's a potential that we could see new cider growing regions develop, and there's more potential for the cider industry.
I like the idea too of being passionate about it, and I think they both tie together so well, because if you are passionate about it, you're going to be passionate about where the fruit's coming from. You're going to be passionate about how the cider is made, and that's what's going to make you successful. If you are just another person who's like, I'm going to open a cidery because I see a hole in the market, you're going to be sadly disappointed when you're not making millions of dollars if you're using real fruit and you're using high quality ingredients.
Yeah.
Who's making millions of dollars?
Nope. But you know what I mean? Like, if you thought that's what you were going to do, it's not going to happen. So you better be passionate about it and really love it. Or, I think the people who are making millions of dollars, aren't pressing their own apples, or, they're doing something different. I don't know. And I want to talk to them about it. Speaking of apples, what's your favorite apple? Either to like eat or make cider from. Like, if you could get an apple in abundance, and it was just like easily available, local in the United States, like what would you want to make cider from?
So I have a couple that I like. They're unique. I'm not sure if I would want to make cider with all of them, but the Arlington Mill is one that jumped out to me just because it's very unique. I described it like a creamy, floral kind of smell to it. And I know it can be overdone, easily over fermented, and lose that like character of the apple so easily. But I've had it like at CiderCon years ago. I had I think it's called two blokes cider. You know those guys?
Right?
Awesome
guys.
So anyways, they let me try. I think they're Arlington Mill. It was like nailed it. Wow, good job. But I had another one somewhere else, and it was like, too much high level alcohol, just overpowering the smell of the apple, etc. So it's just, in my opinion, poorly done. But like probably my favorite one that I've worked with so far. I'll butcher the name. Is it Arlie or
Airly? Yeah. They're like the red flesh ones.
Red flesh one.
Yeah. Early reds. Yeah.
Get the name of the lady. She was over east of Salem.
It's growing them.
It was growing them. She's got a little orchard over there. I can't shout out her name. I can't remember.
Well, if you do remember, let me know, and I will just put it in there.
Subtitles.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's not gonna show up either.
Yeah. No, it'll be fine. I'll cut all this part out.
So that one is just like a really nice one. I really like red flesh just generally.
We have quite a few red field.
Yeah, I love red flesh.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me how an apple can have so many flavors in it.
Yeah. And it can just stand on its own and be so interesting and in all encompassing. I really enjoyed that. And then I've worked with a Harrison apple before. It's kind of
really good. He made a great Harrison cider.
Almost hard to mess that one up.
Yeah.
It's it has so much character to it.
It brings it all into the cider. How do you balance being a small business owner and having a family, and having like during this having children and small children, and how do you balance that? Can you?
It's been a challenge for sure. Having 3 kids at 3 different schools, trying to drive them to 3 different sports, and work full time, and all the things. I think what it just boils down to is gratitude.
Yeah.
Just being grateful for the moment you're in, because there have definitely been more times that I have not been grateful, but it's always those times that I think things start spiraling and you're just like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do all of this? And you want to hang out with your friends, but you can't because you have to, check the fermentation and filter and, do a tasting or whatever. So I think having a great friend group that's super supportive has been amazing. They've been just had our backs, and no matter what we needed, a shoulder to cry on or someone to clap with or whatever, they've always been there. And yeah, just being grateful to have the opportunity to have a business and have a family and have all the things. They're all good things.
Yeah. You just got to juggle them sometimes.
Just juggle. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's provided us with a lot of opportunity. I think the real like value is like the opportunity to teach kids like value like work ethic. And,
our 16-year-old cleans kegs, the 7-year-old cleans the floors. I mean, the oldest one was helping, but he's out of the house now.
Yeah, so the 16-year-old actually is employed.
Okay.
And then the 7-year-old he's a cider maker in
training.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah.
He thinks he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So he tags along sometimes. And if I'm like walking through the cidery, he's like, oh, I'm gonna pick up this broom and start sweeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some things he's like yes, you can do that, and some things you're definitely not allowed.
Yeah, like OSHA says no.
Right? So
like he's usually not allowed in the tap room because he wants to serve customers.
Yeah, you're like not yet, buddy.
Yeah.
No.
But yes, you can bring this bin and bring it to us. Or yeah.
But most importantly, he's seeing it happen. He's seeing I'd screw this thing together, right? Just like seeing the struggle to fix something or make it work or learning the patience really is like, and for young kids, like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's like learning some patience to let learning happen.
Yeah. And how to solve a problem. Like when you're a business owner, you don't get to just be like, okay, my boss is gonna come in and fix this for me. Like you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so seeing that.
Yeah. So I think there's a huge value advantage to that. And yeah, it can be difficult with timing of everyone's wants. Not everyone's in a great mood every day.
Yeah, but that's like everyday life.
It's just the way it goes.
And teenagers.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like, oh my God, that should be a question on here. What advice do you have for people who have teenagers and are like, oh,
right?
Yeah, it's not what it's funny because people always say like, oh, it goes by so fast, and you're like, what? And then you're like, then you are telling people, and you're like, it really does.
Yeah.
Like you're like, got one away at college. I'm like, we're talking about college next year. I'm like, how? We were talking about in the car, like my son's gonna be 18 in like 6 months, and I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Like you were like this, like I'm running around. Anyways, so what's next for you in Cider? What's next for Bend Cider? Like what's coming up?
I think more days off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hoping for more days off. Maybe we just hired an assistant cider maker.
Okay.
So that's been a huge deal for us because we were able to go on vacation last week, and he filtered and he carbonated and he killed it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because he could chill.
He almost killed himself now.
Yeah.
He's just like working too hard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was just going for it, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like,
so
it's just that much.
It's cool to see we're finally at the point where like we can start handing off things and taking time to like enjoy life a little bit. And so
love it.
I feel like we definitely put our time in, and I mean, obviously we're still going to be working full time, but just not like full time.
But you can actually
full time.
Yeah, I know it's most people. I was joking with someone, and I was like, oh, if you did all those things, you'd have to work an 80-hour work week, and she was like, is that on the low end? Like I'm like, oh, you're already working like at least 10-hour days every day. Okay, never mind. And so it is nice when you deserve a break.
Yeah.
And you're not stepping away, but you get to like go and run and do things and not have to worry about what's happening.
Yeah.
We're deep in the team building process in our business. That's
what's
where
next for you is building a team that can run things when you need to take a break.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I ran the tap room for a long time just before I started doing more in the sales and marketing realm, and just finding Sarah, who is our tap room manager, is like, she is the mama of this place, and she runs it, and I can trust her, and it's incredible. Like, our team right now is amazing. So I feel really lucky that we found the people we have. I'm hoping that we can do more single varietal, bottled, things that Kelly's inspired to make. Just hasn't had time to.
Things that take a little longer, a little more.
Yeah.
Zhuzhing.
Having a little more space for barrels.
Dumping down the drain.
Have there been any ones that just like you were like, nope, and did have to dump?
Yeah.
It's usually like small, like it's like R&D sized. I'm assuming, not like big.
Our R&D is like, about 50 gallons or so.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of, I've got some like little kind of 2-barrel fermenters that I use. And I think you have to kind of get it to a certain like right scale, because the carboys, just they don't have any climate control. They're just like, they're susceptible to heat changes so easily, quickly.
It doesn't give you a real indication of what it's going to be like when you do it on a larger scale.
And the reality of like really large scale is in the biology world is like this metabolic like kinetic energy, right? It's like basically having digestion going on, and so that's creating heat, and then you're having the friction of every single molecule rubbing against it. Just like have this like constant like warming, creating heat, and if it's bigger, you just like have that much more heat source, And so at any given time, the apple juice over here could be like 10 degrees warmer than the apple juice over here. In a large fermenter. So.
It really is science. Like, I think to make cider, you have to have like a little bit of a science, like mad scientist.
I think it's like it has to somehow make sense in your head. Even though, I mean, you probably prove it out, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure somebody has.
But it's like has to be okay. In my mind, what is happening behind this steel tank that I can't see anything in?
Yeah, but I know based on how things do their thing.
This is what's going on.
Yeah.
I can always tell at the end of the day what kind of day it's been. His hair actually reflects what happened. Like, no joke.
Like if it's like,
oh yeah, like it,
because he was pulling it.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Rolling around on the ground and we like stuff it.
Tough day today.
I think it usually goes by like a week or two at a time, and we'll see if I've shaved or not.
Oh, that's the other thing. It's like beard length and hair.
Like, oh, okay, now I
can
pay attention to myself. And pick myself up.
I'll send you some photos. We have like a bunch of photos.
Do one of those like day in. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have 2 final questions for you, and they're kind of opposite of each other. So the first one is, what do you dislike about working in cider? Like, what's the part of your job that if you could just like hand it off to somebody else, or if it just like there was a magic wand and you didn't have to do it anymore, what would that be?
I know for me, it's just turning it off.
It's hard
to turn it off.
And let go of work? Okay.
Yep. That's totally what it is for me.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's like on the cider making side, it's like I talked about earlier, like the ideal world is like this like AVA, like this, little Napa and the river kind of idea, right? And the way that they'd be making cider is seasonally, like the wine model, which to me is like the ideal lifestyle. Like, go take care of the orchard early in the season, and then you watch it come into ripeness while not really doing anything. And there's a big rush to process everything. And then you're done.
Yeah, and then it sits and ferments, and
that would be great. It's not the reality for commercial operation, which is constant. So like you said, turning it off would be nice.
Yeah.
But for us, we kind of think this continues to roll, and that's the reality. It's like, for us as a business, like having employees, there needs to be some consistency.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to kind of have it cyclical.
Yeah.
That way.
If you only had people on certain times of the year, it'd be hard to keep quality
Yeah.
help because they need full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So on the other side, what do you love about your job? What is the thing that like when you might not get to do it all the time, but when you get to do it or when it happens, you're like, yes, this is like why I do this.
I know for me, it's the people.
Yeah.
Just, I love the people I meet. I love being at the festivals. I love, being in the tap room and our regulars and the locals and the tourists, talking to them about their lives or cider or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just connecting. There's a lot of connection that happens, at least in my side of the business. And I love it. I live for it.
Yeah, I work in a cave usually. So.
Yeah, yeah. So like, what's your favorite part of your job that you would do every day if you could?
I mean, the best part is that I kind of self schedule. Obviously,
Mhm.
I can say, well, no, like this time of day isn't really great for me. Yeah, and I want to go do something else.
Yeah.
I can kind of schedule it that way. So that's kind of the best part, right? It's like there's a little flexibility. Like, no, I'm a siesta today, and
Yeah.
we'll do work in the morning, work in the evening, or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Um,
And that's when I'm like, oh, you're going to go do that? Can you take this can and take a photo for me?
Best laid plans is what you want to do as a
siesta gets filled up with work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're taking a break. No, you're not. You're gonna actually do this thing.
So,
But having that flexibility of like managing yourself, like
Yeah.
being a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you get to manage what you do. And if you don't do it, you don't make cider, you don't get paid. But
yeah,
you get to decide when and how you do it.
yeah, right.
I like it. So, any final things that you want to add before we finish up tonight? Anything that's like you're itching to tell people?
Thank you for coming and
Yeah.
all this way to Bend, and we appreciate that.
Gotta stop by when I'm here.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
I think it's just exciting being at the point. I feel like we're at the point where I can say like we've almost made it.
Yeah.
Essentially, we're we can hire those people and relax and just got voted best cidery in Central Oregon.
There
which
you
is
go.
So nice to. We don't usually enter competitions, but to hear the locals feel like we're doing a good job.
Yeah, because they're the ones that do the voting. Like they vote for the place. Like here's the list, and you pick the one you like the best, and they said you.
No, it's all right in.
It's all right in. They all wrote it in.
Yeah.
Well,
to start with.
There's no lists in the best of competition. It's all like if the locals know of it,
they write it in. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like multiple choice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
they write it in.
You actually have to write.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, what's your favorite best cidery in Central Oregon? And people wrote you in.
So
Over
it's
and over
a
and over
much
again.
more representative best of.
Because they don't give you the options.
Yes.
You have to think of them yourself.
Yes.
And that's the one that you like and you go to and you pick up when you go to the store, you visit the tap room. That's exciting. I love
think
it.
just like, kind of like we were talking about, when we're doing it ourselves, we're not contract brewing, we're canning, we're, doing all the things. It's really important that, I guess to us, that our cider's representing the quality that we want to show and people are appreciating it. And so it feels really good.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Where can people find you, like if they are out in the world and they don't live locally and they want to like follow along on your journey? Like where, like socials, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, social media at Bend Cider, and then our website, bendcider.com.
Okay.
And then we're in different grocery stores around, and you can always ask to bring in our cider.
Yeah, and they'll contact you hopefully, and you'll be like, "Yep, we'll get it right out to you."
Yeah.